Hi there, I'm Tina Carini at SpongeandStamp.com. So this is the card that we're going to be making today. It's just doing a little bit of watercoloring, some stamping, a little die cut, and let's go ahead and jump right in. So the cardstock that we're using is Grapefruit Grove, Early Espresso, and Whisper White scrap, and then some watercolor paper. The measurements is, this is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. This is 5 1/4 by 4. This is going to be our matting, and we're going to do some background stamping on this. Then this is our mat for our watercolor paper, and it is 3 by 3 1/2. And our watercolor is 2 3/4 by 3 3/8. So let's go ahead and do our watercolor first. I'm going to bring in some computer paper here. It's just using it for scrap to protect my surface. And we're going to use Mediterranean Moments. And I have not used this stamp set in quite a while. It's been a long time. And it's really a pretty stamp set. And I know that I have some customer friends that are intimidated by it because they don't like to color, but I'm going to show you a way that you can use this stamp set and not really color. Makes it really easy. And we're going to use the little diner, outside diner, and then the alleyway, I guess is what you would call this. It's of a town or a city or a village. And I've already got those blocked up. So we're going to be doing that one. And then we've got the table. But first, before I get ahead of myself, let's go ahead and get this watercolored. So I've got an aqua painter here that you can find in the annual catalog. And we've got colors of Grapefruit Grove, crushed curry that we're going to use. I've already squeezed the lids to put a pool of ink in there. And those are the two colors that we're using to do the watercoloring. So I'm just going to squeeze my brush just to get a little water going in it. Let me make sure that I'm in here. Okay. And then I'm just going to carefully, not carefully, but just put a little water on here. I don't want too much. So, and then I'm going to start in with the Grapefruit Grove. Squeeze a little water if you need to. And then I'm just going to brush this on. That's all I'm doing. Very simple and easy. It's not hard at all. I'm just going to brush some of that on there. Just like that. And then I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to come in and do the same thing with the crushed curry. And then I'm just going to color in here. And I'm just going to go around the sides mainly. And the top. And then kind of swish it in there. And then I think that I do want a little bit more of our Grapefruit Grove. So I'm just going to bring that in there. I'm just going to bring it in here. So here we go. And that looks pretty good to me. And it will dry a little darker. I'm just going to add a little bit more. Just like that. So we're going to put this aside. I'm going to clean my brush off and move this out of the way. We're going to put this aside and let it dry while we are stamping the rest of our card. So I'm going to close this up because we do not need either one of those colors anymore. We're done with those. So I'm going to bring in my Grapefruit Grove mat here and some Early Espresso. And I'm going to take the big stamp here of the little alleyway or the inside of the town. And I'm going to ink that up with the Early Espresso. I'm going to stamp it off because I don't want full strength because I think that that would overpower our card. And we just want like a little bit of... what's the word I'm looking for? Like just a little bit of effect that you can tell that there's a town back there, but it's not like overbearing. And just like that. And it's okay if it laps over and stuff like that, or you have some darker areas or some lighter areas, because it is just our background. That's all it is. But we do want the effect of a town back there because, you know, our bistro is in a town. So we're going to Oops, no, we're not done with this yet. Well, no. So we've got that done. We're going to bring in our card base here. Oops. We're going to fold that in half. Give it a nice score. And then we're going to attach this. But what I'm going to do, instead of attaching it flat with either my liquid glue, which is usually what I use, I'm going to take some glue dots. And I'm just going to put a couple of glue dots on here. And the reason why I'm using glue dots is because I kind of want it to be raised a little bit, but not a lot that the dimensionals would do. So the glue dots actually do raise it just a little bit. And I think it's really cool that it does that. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you have not seen this little trick, you'll be pleased with it. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. And I'm just going to stick like 1 or 2 on there just to raise it just a little bit more. It's really a cool trick. I like it. And probably don't need to, but I'm just putting them on here because truthfully, I'm experimenting. Because in this card here, I did just put one layer, but I thought, well, what will happen if I put 2? It'll still be lower than a dimensional, but it might pop up just a tiny bit more. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so we've got that, and I wanna make sure that my town is going the right way up, and just kind of do my best to lay this straight on here. And then just give it a little rub. And then can you see how it's just raised just a little bit? So it just adds a little extra to your card. So now I'm going to put that aside, and we are going to bring in our watercolor here. So, and it's not quite dry, so let me blow on it. I could use my heat gun, but it's in a different area right now. If we go ahead and use that, our thing may bleed, but I think I'm going to go ahead and try it. Let's go ahead and ink this up, and let's try this. And then I'm just going to kind of center this on here, just like that. Give it a nice pressure here, and then there we go. So isn't that cool? Okay. So now I just close this up, and I still need it because we need to bring in our image here. And I'm using an image from part of my story. We're going to use Let's Get Together and Giggle because I really thought that that was really cute with the little dinette set and the outdoors little bistro. And I thought, wow, that's really cute. And I have somebody in mind that I'm going to send this to too that I haven't seen in a while. And we're just going to stamp our sentiment in the middle so that we have some room to do some die cutting. And I am using the what is it? I never can say it right. The stitch-shaped framelits. I'm using the ovals, and I'm using the second to the smallest. And we're just going to put that right on there. Let's go ahead and make our sandwich here. And I've got the magnetic platform and a cutting plate, and lay our cardstock on here and I just smeared our sentiment. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp that again. We'll just flip the card over, no need to waste. And stamp that right in the center again. Let's give it a second or two. Sometimes the early espresso, and plus it's real thick right there, it takes a little bit longer to dry. It's not like instant. But that's going to be good enough for me. So let's go ahead, start over, magnet platform, cutting plate, cardstock, our die, and we'll just center that on there straight. And then we will put our cutting plate on top of that, and then run it right through the Big Shot, and I'll be right back. I'm right over here. I probably should have pre-stamped and cut one out, but I just wasn't thinking because I was too excited to get on here with you guys and show you this card because I think that it's really, really cute. Okay, so there's that. Now let's put this on our matting, and we're going to use some multi-purpose glue here and just layer this on here the straight that I can. And I did cut this a little longer than what it needed to be because I knew that I was going to do some trimming. Uh-oh. I didn't. Oh, shoot. Okay. There. Okay. So we're going to trim this off down here at the bottom. And I do this because sometimes if I'm just a hair off, it will show on your card. So and I didn't want that to have some piece be longer than the other. So, and I'm going to put a little extra glue right here because sometimes when you watercolor, it does warp your paper just a little bit. So we need to put some extra glue on here, just a little bit, not like a whole lot. Just like that. And then we are going to use some dimensionals and we're going to pop this one up. So I'm going to put one in the center, one in the side, 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 and side. Okay. Push them in the center so that they come up easier. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't. Go ahead and get this like so. So now we're going to bring in our card base and make sure that I am the right way here. Okay. And I'm just going to put this centered but higher up. Hopefully that makes a little sense. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dimensional on the bottom part of this. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on the top part of it because our image, stamped image, is higher than it's popped up. So you don't want it to be unlevel when you put this on here. So in order for it to lay right, you want to make sure that you have a dimensional on this on the bottom side, and then this just lays flat on top of your stamped raised image. Okay, so one more thing that we have left to do, and that is to make a bow with some linen thread. I have just a little bit left here. And go ahead and tie a bow. I love linen thread. Really love it. Okay, just like that. I think I want this just a tiny bit smaller. So like that's pretty good. And then I'm just going to give this a trim. Like so. And then I'm going to take a glue dot. Love me some glue dots. Okay, and I'm just going to roll that up. Just like that. So that it's not sticking all out from your bow. Excuse me. And then we're just going to place that right here in the corner. Just like that. And then we are done. Excuse me again. So I hope that you guys like this. Excuse me. Okay, so that was really, really simple. Let me take a quick drink. Oh, sometimes you get a frog in your throat and it just won't go away. Okay, so we use the Part of My Story, which is a celebration item that the celebration ends in just a couple of weeks, March 31st, and you can get this with a $50 purchase or before tax and shipping. And then we use the Mediterranean Moments, which is in the annual catalog. We did a little watercoloring using our aqua painter that's in the annual, and then just 3 colors of ink, and that's all we did, and use some glue dots and some dimensionals. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and comment below, because I love to hear from you guys. And subscribe to my channel and make sure that you click the bell icon so that you miss no other videos that come out. And also check me out on Facebook, Sponge and Stamp with Tina. I do Facebook Lives every Tuesday night at 7:30, and I will have a full description of this card and links with the products that I used on my blog, spongeandstamp.com, and I'll also list the measurements and list my blog link and my Facebook link in the description below. Thanks again for joining me. You guys have a blessed day. Bye-bye.